Here is sage, and it's very much, there's different type of sage from various parts of the country. But this sage is very much similar to the ones that I'm familiar with on the Navajo Nation. Uh, but this sage is like in Utah. And people, I've seen them where they actually tie it in a bundle and light it up and use it in that manner. Um, I am familiar with that, and also just the smelling of it um, has an effect on your nasal system, and I think also for your awareness, um, psychic, your just makes you a little bit more alert, and I think it opens up your certain parts of your mind, your spirit, so to speak, so that you can do the worship. So, but I'm going to try something. This is something that my cousin in New Mexico showed me, recommended. Also, I've had medicine people recommend that I do this, and that is that for purification and purification of the body, and to clean out your insides, pretty much, your digestive system, but mostly I think for gallbladder, the liver, and also the kidneys. And how you do it is that you boil it so that it becomes a tea. And after that, you let it cool. And it's recommended that I drink about a cup, but I could go as high as drinking 2 cups. The taste is quite strong. I mean, literally, when you talk about strong, this is very, very strong. And be prepared, be close to the bathroom, because you will vomit it back up, or it will go the other way. But in any case, it's supposed to have some purification. And I think it's your the fluids from inside of your liver and your stomach and different parts where it actually gets cleansed. In the Navajo way, they call it tsetsui. You actually throw that back up, and depending on how much you have inside of your system. And if you have a lot of anger issues, a lot of worriedness, and a lot of those type of very high anxiety, you can actually do this and throw up the tsetsui, and your anger and those type of anxiety issues will go away or slow down, or at least ease off. So this is the first step, and then we will go to the I'll show you what it's going to look like once I get it boiling. And what I'm going to use is, I'm just going to use a pot, or a pan, I'm sorry, and fill the water to about right there. And then I'm going to actually strip off the leaves and leave the stem out. So all I'm going to use is just the just the leaves. But before I do that, I'm gonna go break all of these twigs off. Probably gonna break all this off, and then I'm gonna obviously wash this because it's been in the Salt Lake Valley, and there's probably some whole bunch of junk on this thing, pollution. But it still grows here in the valley, and it's, I feel very, very blessed to have it, so that I can use it. So that's step one. Okay, I wash these, and I'm going to lay it back out again. This is all of the, I kind of had to scrub it down a little bit because, like I said, there might be some pollution and stuff like that that got on as it's been out here in a in a metropolitan area. So if you look at it, it's been washed. It looks pretty clean. And again, here's the pot that I'm going to use to boil it. So, okay, what I'm going to do is that, you know, like for instance, like on this, all I'm going to do is just like, I'm going to take those twigs off, and then I'm going to set those aside and start breaking them down a little further. And like on this particular case here, let me show you how that I strip down the leaves. I take that off. I grab the end. It's almost like you know how like if you've ever did herbs like thyme, and that's how you strip it down, and you even strip it even further than that, but that's kind of like the second step. The other one that I'm doing is this one here. So it's kind of like that again. So I'm going to continue to do that and even break it even more down, because I'm going to take these down. So all I'm going to eventually just use is just that. And sometimes before I put it into the pot, you kind of mush it up a little bit like this and bruise it so that it releases all the medicine inside of that. Okay, this is where I'm getting at, and I'm slowly stripping it down. Even that's a bit too much, and a lot of the dead leaves. And here's the old branches, and here's what I still have to do. Okay, it's starting to look pretty good. Well, that one's fully not done yet. So I still just keep going, but you can already start to smell the potency of the sagebrush. So imagine how powerful this thing is going to be once you make it into a tea and then drink it. You know, it's something that everybody should try at least once in their life, but once you'll see the benefits of that. So, like, that one's pretty close. So all I want to do is get it to these so that it's just the leaves like this. So, gotta keep going. Okay, I think it's pretty much ready now. Man, you can just tell the just how potent this stuff is. You can smell it. So I'll get the water ready next. Okay, here's the sage. I washed it again, and what I'm going to do is just kind of press it a little bit, not too hard, but just enough to bruise it up just a little bit. And that way, it kind of releases a lot of the medicine or the fragrance, and I guess the ointments and such like that that's inside of the plant. So, wow, I can smell the so I'll bring it over here to the stove top, and the water's about that much. I don't intend to throw out the water. What the water that's in here is about 2 cups, 2.5 cups thereabouts, and it's about a 8-inch saucepan, and it's about ready to start boiling. One of the things that I learned about this plant, or about using this, was that when I left the stems on, the wood part of it, and in combination with the leaves, it just seemed to me like it just lost its strength. And so this is like kind of the first time that I'm going to try just the leaves only, and see how that goes. You can already start smelling the, oh man, I don't know how to describe it, but it has a very medicinal, a very, almost what I almost would call a very powerful odor to it. No wonder it'll chase things out of your system. If you look at it, well, I don't know if you can see it on the video, but the water is now starting to go like about light green. And I'll just keep stirring it, maybe turn the heat down just a bit. I don't want to burn it too much. Yeah, it's starting to go green. Greener. Seriously, I think that if any of you people want to try to be able to do what I call a cleansing, like a digestive cleansing, because, you know, we eat all sorts of foods, grease, things that are not very good for our health, and they somehow, you do get buildups, things that are backed up, and, you know, you see probiotics cleansing on the internet, television, the commercial, and you hear scientific proof that, you know, that you've got to get your keep your digestive system clean. And I never looked at it and made that comparison before, and until recently. Now, I'm a firm believer that you gotta do everything you can to keep the system, your stomach, your intestines, your liver, your kidney. These are things that cycle your blood. You eat, and food goes down into your stomach, and then it's broken down and goes into your intestines. These are the organs that literally give life to you so that you can sustain a living. And if you have a partially blocked, or you got a lot of block system, I think that how can you really have a quality of life that you would want? So it all makes sense to me when I was first introduced to this, and they said, hey, why don't you try that? So again, I just want to remind you that you can literally like once this cools down, you can drink it. Of course, you got to strain it first to make sure that all the leaves are gone. So all you have is just a green tea, and it's kind of the tea. You can begin to see it now on camera that it's really a pretty dark green. Well, you can't really see it, but it's pretty dark right now. So I think it's about 6 minutes or so, 5 minutes of boiling, and you can just, from the steam that's going up, I mean, it is really, you can just smell that it's sage and it's medicine. So it's just like, even when you smell it, I mean, it just kind of gives your mind a shock to wake up. So, and yeah, this is like still boiling. So I just turned the heat off. So let it cool down a little bit, because I think now it's ready. Okay, here's the leaves that I strained into a pan. I think this white bowl, or into a bowl, I mean. That's a white, kind of a off-color eggshell white. You can tell the color, and you can just, I tell you, you can just tell how strong that thing is just by smelling it. Okay, here's the last phase of your Sagebrush cleansing tea, and here's my cup, and here's the drink. I'm just going to let it cool down on its own, and that little that's about 3/4 of a cup, of a large cup. So good luck. Be sure to say your thoughts to the Creator for what you desire to have healed inside of you, so to speak. And while you're picking the sagebrush, and once right before you drink it, and the wonderful things, the benefits that you're going to get. So I'll be posting other videos that are along this line. I hope it will be helpful for you. And I think that just not only for the inside, for the digestive system, but also just even smelling it, boy, I tell you, it just gives you an alertness, an awakeness, and that which I consider to be very beautiful. So keep that in mind, and good luck. And remember, this is what I've seen with the Native American, with the Navajo way, and it's not by no means a medical therapy that I'm recommending in the name of the doctor or anything. So I want to throw that little disclaimer in there, and just if you do it right, this is not for abuse for anything, because if you take this step and do this and do it in the right spirit, your journey will be beautiful. And if you're going to drink this stuff, obviously you're pretty committed to getting some help, that it's not just a fad or a trend that people are doing, but because the taste, believe me, it's quite an experience. I can't describe it. I can't think of anything that it compares to. It is very, very pungent and very powerful. So that's all I gotta say, and have a good day.